So today I've got a Woodstock number 5, one of the later models, on the bench here. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you today how to remove the platen. So to remove the platen, it's not that complicated, but there's 2 grub screws on each knob and another 2 grub screws on the platen right here, and not all of them need to come out at the same time. So these 2 grub screws here do not need to come out for the platen to be taken out. These 2, however, do need to come out. So the first step is to take these 2 screws out, and they are cone point grub screws, but long ones like so. So one can be removed and then the other one. So that's your first step right there. As you can put those aside, and that's the first step. Second step is on the other side. So on the other side of the carriage we have the other platen knob, and I'm not sure so on the other side we have, actually I need to go a little bit higher. So we have in here right there we have 1 grub screw, and then we have another one which is a 1/4 turn from it just below right here, and those need to come out at this point. So let's go ahead and remove these. Not necessarily remove them, but just loosen them by about, how much would that be? 1 turn or so, maybe a little bit more, turn and a half. And at that point what we can do is pull the other knob out. You should be able to just wiggling the other knob, and the whole rod comes out at this end. And that rod goes all the way through the platen, this way, and engages with that knob. So you might be able to see on the end of this there's 2 flats, and those are the 2 flats that this platen knob right there is supposed to engage with those grub screws. And on the other end, so this is the, on the other end you have the other platen knob, which is right there with its 2 grub screws right there. Those 2 grub screws also engage with 2 flats, and you also have in the rod itself 2 dimples, and those 2 dimples once again match with those cone point grub screws. So that's all things that need to be kept in mind when putting this back together. Now with that rod out, with the platen rod out, it's just a matter of lifting the platen from that side and then pulling it off. That's the platen off. So we're left with the paper pan, access to the feed rollers if needed, and to remove the rest of that knob and to remove the line disconnect, what you have to do is at this point this cap right there, which is your temporary disconnect, can screw off. So go ahead and unscrew that. And the way that knob is secured when the machine is fully up together. Oh, sorry. So you have the cap right there. You can remove the platen knob, and underneath on that small shaft is a spring that shouldn't be lost. The way the knob is secured on the end of that rod so that it doesn't unscrew is like so. We have on this left hand knob we have cut out up and down like so, and then on this knob right here we have a matching little ball, so when those engage together like so, this little knob cannot rotate, so it's held captive by this little notch right here, or this one. So that's one more thing to line up when you put everything back together. At this point you have this rod right here, which is your actual one half of the clutch. So that's this wheel right, this piece right there that has the rod where the temporary line disconnect screws in right there. And then these are, if you can see, these have little serrations on the end, and that's one half of the clutch. The other half is on the machine at this point still. What you can do is disconnect your line indexing system, and then you can pull that piece out just by pulling towards the inside. You might need to unlock the you might need to release your paper right there, and then you can pull that away from the machine. On here, which I just lost, is the this whole assembly is in several parts, so make sure not to lose any. We start on the outermost end with a washer or a shim. That's right there. That's just a regular washer, and then the rest is in two parts. You have the indexing wheel, which is the same as which is the same piece as this, and this has the other half of the ratchet. So we have a wheel like a circle of little teeth which engage with those little teeth, so those grip together. And then we also have, so if we take this piece out, we also have this, which is your actual platen drive, and that's what engages those three little holes, engaged with matching holes in the platen, as can be seen here. So on the platen here you have three little holes and three screws. Those three little bits, three little prongs, go inside your platen, and that's what, when you rotate this, it drives your platen. At that point you have everything taken off the machine and ready for reassembly, basically. On this end, do be careful. We have right here your line index, your carriage return lever, sorry, can come loose, and it basically comes off that bushing right here. So make sure to keep that in place when reinstalling everything.